Alright, welcome everyone to another streaming. I don't know. Yeah, my music stopped again, and I don't know why. Yeah, move to a different computer. Okay, fine. Perfect. So we are back. Thank you everyone for coming. Today I'm going to be building an agent that I see is popping up kind of everywhere. The pattern is as follows. Let me actually draw it so that I not only make a diagram that I need to get used to do it, but also I'll give some time to people to join. So this is not the one I want to show. Everyone arcade, videos, streams. I create a new board. It's gonna be news agent. So I call it news agent, but really, actually let me share my screen. I call this news agent, but in reality, I guess the main point here. Let me actually slower. There we go. So the reality of it is that it's not so much about the fact that it's news. It's about the agentic pattern of connecting some sources to an intelligent quote-unquote filter, and then having that filter rank and apply your specific preferences to those things, and then compile a report and send it to you wherever you are. So that's the idea really here. So here we can have some things like Reddit, maybe Twitter, and Google News, and others if you want. Then we have the agent, which in this case is basically an LLM plus, or like a bunch of LLMs, like LLM per post article, and then LLM that compiles message, and then on the other side we have the kind of notifications, right? And this is a diagram that I actually made before. Here you have the Slacks of the world and possibly email, right? And this is what we are gonna build today, right? So if you can think about the agent as the smart piece that's gonna actually apply your intelligence into whatever is coming out of here, and then digest that on your behalf, send to you only the things that you care about. You can free your time, you can have the agent be your personal recommender system, and that's a powerful thing, right? So this are gonna be all of the inputs. If I can make the arrow only pretty, there we go. One, two, and three, and these will go in that direction, right? And here, this is the kind of main piece, because all of these actually, like, I'm gonna select all of them, change the color to red, because all of these are gonna be arcade tools, and this is the output as well. So the integrations are already given. The only thing that we need to write is the logic here, right? So then the agent, what you're gonna do is create or analyze content and tell me if I should care about it. that's what we want the agent to do, really. Then build a list of top n in a message that I will like to read and send it to me, right? So this first part, the analyze and tell me if I should care, the way that works is, if I can make it, okay. The way the first part works in my mind basically is assign a scope. That's what we want this thing to do, right? And this diagram, so like this architecture, is very compatible to that. So let's build it. I already started with a long prompt saying this is what I want, and like this is the stack that I want you to use, and it's gonna start like doing web searches and all of that. But in the meantime, I'm gonna actually start coding. So let me just make this smaller. We have nothing here, only this cloud thing. I'm gonna say arcade.ts, and open terminal here. Say run install ADI. Right? Then here, actually I have examples of how to do this, so let me just go ahead to Arcade's docs, quick starts, call tools in agents, and I can copy this TypeScript version, scroll all the way down, and this is the example. And just copy that, paste it here. We have basically everything we need. Let me just walk you through the code here so that it's easy to see, right? So we have the Arcade client here that we are gonna use to basically build all of these connections, the Reddit, the Twitter, the Google News, and also like the input connections as well as the output connections. The thing that goes in the middle, that I'm gonna try to get Cloud Code to vibe code while I do this, is it's just glue essentially, right? And there will be some files that we use to configure these agents, but basically what we want here is my Arcade key, and I generate one that I'm gonna delete immediately after recording, as well as an open router API key. Let me just create a .env file, and I'm gonna say arcade API key equals that, then open router API key, and I'll copy these values without exposing my screen so that I don't dox myself once again on the internet. I'll just create webinar. That's for open router. We'll create an API key arcade webinar. We'll add arcade user ID. Basically, I created a .env file that I hope Claude will not don't read from there. I hope I'm not gonna get doxed by Claude code. Okay, let me walk you through this. This is process one. I always forget that. So I'm gonna configure the client over there, but basically the main function that we are gonna use is authorize and run, which gets a tool name, an object as the input, my user ID, and then it will call authorize by the arcade client. If we are already authorized, it will ignore all of these, and we can just basically skip to the execute. If we are not logged in, however, we get presented a URL that we need to use to go through the OAuth dance, and then allow the tool, and if we give consent, it will run here, right? And then we run it, and we always return the response. What this allows us to do is very easily have, I want to run this tool with this input and this user ID, and then process the results however I want, right? So I'm gonna actually delete most of this here, because I only need these 46 lines, I think. Process. Which I both define in my .env file. So now I'm gonna have I guess I want to say like scanner TS or something. Like this is basically going to go to all of the different arcade tools and read stuff on my behalf, right? And actually before I do this, I want to configure some inputs that I will use for this, right? Because I need to configure where I go to actually read all of this stuff, right? So I'm gonna go back to here. I'm gonna say inputs to scan dot txt, right? Let me say that is to flex. I want a very simple thing. Create a single rank. Yes, uses open router to rank things. And wait, I want each article is tested. Okay, profile. That I will create, and it returns compatibility score 0 to 100, and a reasoning string. This will then be collected on the top 10 into a result containing okay. So while that is doing that, I'm gonna basically say you know what is gonna be the source, Reddit, and then MCP, Reddit. Let me see what orders of Reddit I want. My chain, for example. So that's what I want from Reddit. And then what do I want from Google search? I think that was actually here in our search news stories. Yes. So let's say what's the latest. What's the latest topic? Then OpenAI. MCP. And I think with these 6 we already have enough, right? So basically what I want is these I should actually rename as I'm gonna rename it as a CSV, and we are gonna read that in the scanner basically. Yeah. So did I export this? No. I can export this. Should I export the claim as well? I think so. And I don't think I need these necessarily because I can actually technically make it bound to a single user. I'll just worry about that later. So I'm going to import first row. Here we basically want to read the CSV into source and I guess like main, you know, like channel and then source. That's what we want. So I'm gonna say interface. Scan. this should be your probably, or I guess this is more strict than that. It should be Reddit or Google for now, and then let's support different things later on. Then it's gonna be read from okay. So I want to ask stuff here to this agent. What? See, support article, snippet. This is alright. I don't know about this model, but okay. Yeah, that's what we want. We have a list of channels on Reddit. So now I guess expand. Yes. I'm curious why he wants to add OpenAI, because as I understand it, OpenRouter already has their default SDK, but I'm gonna trust the LLM in this case. Let's see what it wrote. Oops. guess snippet is not something I really want. Let me expand that. So the schema I'm happy with. You are a news relevant scorer. You're using interest profile and an article rate how relevant. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. It has this snippet, so we add the content. The article, the snippet is useful to present the report, so we can the whole thing order properly rank it. Right, so the thing is like it the LLM in this case went in kind of like the lazy route, because the snippet is just a summary of the thing, right? And I don't want to make a decision based on the summary. I actually want to use the content to make a decision, right? I don't care about everything. Right. Let it invent something. In the meantime, basically what we do is we import article. Oh wait. This will return article. Arcade tool we have to search the web. I believe we have article. Docs. Why did he complain about this? Let's say. Configured a real model here. No, this is not what I want. No. Wait. Google. Yes. This is the first time I try to do this pattern of like actually commenting the thing. Guess I want that actually. Alright, so we do have now a scoring mechanism which is working. So while the reader is being implemented by this other agent, we're gonna implement the notification system. So I guess the notification system, because it's the output, can be the thing that actually runs the reader first, then ranks, then notifies. So I'm gonna use that. Right, that's a rather long prompt, but it's useful because if I tell it exactly what I want, it has less opportunity to screw it up. So let's see here what we got. Right, so direct snippet. Yeah, this is get control multiple posts. Yes. We'll see if this works.
Fistful of dirt in my hand, grave dust ain't my promised land. Clawed my way through hellfire and death. Now I'm breathing in a
That
world
printed a
built from
bunch of things.
crack.
Let's see. Cool, 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 cool,
Chains
cool.
broke beneath my scream. Wreckage life ain't what it seems. Back from the abyss. You can't bury this. A heart like a hammer, and a soul that won't miss. Back from the abyss.
Yeah, this is what I wanted. That it actually gets the output shape, which, you know, at this point in time, anything like any remote tool calling has this problem that in some cases you need to run it to know the shape, which is not ideal. But yeah, here we are.
But I rose from beneath. Steel in my veins and a thunderhead grin. Victory's mine with the scars of my sins. Shadows chase, but I outran. Build my bones with these two hands. Back from the abyss. You can't bury this. A heart like a hammer and a soul that won't miss. Back from the abyss. Yeah, yeah. A fistful of dirt in my hand. Grave dust ain't my promised land.
I just don't want to start this one before I stop editing the reader DS, because then all sort of race conditions will happen.
In a world rebuilt from the crash. Chains broke beneath my screen. Wreckage life ain't what it seems.
I understand what's happening. Things I want to monitor the stream on another computer, but as soon as I click it, my audio goes to that computer and it stops on my machine. I need to figure out how to do that.
The wolves howl, but they never
Okay, perfect.
sang teeth. Buried alive, but I rose from beneath. Steel in my veins and a thunderhead grin. Victory's mine with the scars of my sins. Shadows chase, but I outran. Build my bones with these two hands. Back from the abyss. You can't bury this. A heart like a hammer and a soul that won't miss. Back from the abyss.
I want to see if it's smart enough. Send me a snack.
Back from the abyss. Back from the abyss.
Why?
You wrote me off a cold dead file. I scratched my name down every mile. Rust on my teeth, blood on my grin. I lost that fight. I still came in. I am back again louder. Can you hear that now? Stronger, meaner. I will not bow. I am back again loud. Every scar alive. Turn me up, turn me up. I survive. You shook my bones, tried to erase. I kept my rage in a hidden case. Now it snaps open, steel spring blade. Did you miss this sound? This ugly light.
Read articles.
Who was I then? Ghost in a wire. Who am I now?
Okay, let's try.
On fire. Say my name, say it in
Let's try Slack first.
inside your
Yeah. And now it went ahead and read all of that, which is exactly what I want, right?
that now. Stronger, meaner. I will not bow.
Let's see my Slack.
Back again louder. Every scar alive. Turn me up, turn me up. I survive.
It says successfully. This is very difficult to read in this screen, so let me go to another window. Go back to another window. Okay, so that is working. Say your nearest digest is this 98%, 95. Cool. So that works. Now let's try Gmail.
Burned out shadows chase my name. Cracked mirror dared me to play the game. No sleep, no mercy, no end in sight. Crawling through the ashes just to find the
What does it say?
light. I'm back in the fire, back in the fight. Louder than thunder.
Okay.
Back in the fire, can't turn me down. Rising like a scream, tearing through this town.
Amazing. So here, if I go to gmail.com, should have gotten that news digest with all of the scores, which is exactly what I wanted. Right. So now I can keep iterating. Like, it's been 1 hour, which is the end for the webinar. So I'm gonna open source this very soon, but I want to basically just improve a little bit the format, and then in the next webinar we are gonna take this to the next level. And at the moment it's just a bunch of scripts, but we can put this in a server, or even in a cron job in our computer, so that will run it periodically, right? And that's the beginning of a pattern called well, in this case, because there is not a lot of interactivity, it's not quite an ambient agent because it's not really reacting to anything. It's actually just running periodically. But the agentic piece is the scoring and ranking. Well, there are some bugs actually, because all of these cannot be 95%. That doesn't really make sense. But basically, the story here is that now I didn't have to go through all of this and read, like, doom scroll through Reddit, a bunch of subreddits, and then go and, you know, remember that I'm interested to have a daily digest in like MCP or Anthropic or OpenAI, for example. So I built a little agent in like an hour that it's quite decent at like giving me the links that I want to see. Like, okay, awesome MCP server, right? So yeah, well, this is not quite, I don't know why I got this actually. Is it in the hot? I don't know why this would be in hot. Well, 6 days ago. Yeah, so let's see. Where is the hot here? Wow. I need to fine tune this so that I don't get things that are so old. But in general, I didn't have to scroll down Reddit or multiple subreddits and go to Google to find the news. So I can have my own personalized digest, which is basically like a better newsletter instead of subscribing to somebody else's newsletter where they're gonna put all of the ads. I choose what I want based on basically an explanation of what I'm interested in, which I think is pretty powerful. Alright, that's it for today, and the next time we are gonna actually make this work much better.